Okay, here we go. Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Mike Lepond from Symphony X and Mike Lepond's Silent Assassins. And you're listening to the Brutally Delicious Podcast.
Mike, this is Bruce Moore and my partner Chris. We had a 10:30 interview with you.
Yes, how you doing, man?
Good, how are you?
I'm doing well, thank you.
Staying safe up? Well, you're in Jersey, right?
Yes, I'm in New Jersey.
Staying safe up there?
Yeah. I mean, we're kind of starting to turn things around over here, so, everybody's starting to get in a better mood and, wanting to get out a little bit more, so that's good.
Awesome. So I interrupted before Chris could say hello. Sorry, Chris.
That's okay. Bruce always interrupts.
How you doing, man?
I'm doing great, man. The new single sounds killer.
Oh, my God.
Oh, thank you very much. I appreciate that.
I'm a longtime fan, and actually we have a mutual friend in common. Rory Romano's one of my great buddies.
Oh, yeah. Rory, yes. Tour managed Symphony X a bunch of times.
Yeah.
Yeah, we all love him, man. He's a great guy.
Him and I started out at the at Soundtrack New York as engineers and interns back in like late '80s. I've known him forever. Yeah.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah. He's still in Florida. Is that where you guys are?
No, I'm in. Well, we're both in Virginia. I'm in Richmond, and Chris is in Northern Virginia.
Oh, cool. Excellent.
Technology.
Yes.
Makes things easier sometimes.
A lot of times, especially in this kind of mess.
Yes, absolutely.
Chris, you want to start?
Yeah, so it looks like you postponed the release of your record until June. Was that a hard decision to make for you?
It was a decision that the record company made, Silver Lining Music out of the UK. And I think it was just based on, well, obviously it had to do with the virus, but I guess in a technical sense it was based on distribution channels and all that kind of thing. These companies can be actively distributing it to stores or whatever. And so, I mean, for me, I assume that they know much more than I do when it comes to releasing a record. So whatever they wanted to do was fine with me. Inside, I'm like, oh man, I've been working on this thing for like 2 years. I just want to get it out.
Right.
But I totally get it. So that's cool.
Were you planning to do a tour after this was done, or has that all been put on hold, or was there no tour planned?
Yeah, we were still just kind of devising a plan of what to do before all this went down. But yeah, I mean, once everything is cool again, yeah, we would love to go out and do some touring. So far, the Silent Assassins, we've only done one show, and this was around Christmas time of 2018, and it was fun. It was a local show here in the New York, New Jersey area, and we had a great time. The place was packed, and it was definitely a fun night. But a tour would be great. Preferably either an opening slot with a bigger band of the same style, or a festival, where you have like a good built-in audience and get a lot of media and press there.
Right.
Nice. Geek. And one thing I noticed on this record is the bass sound was perfect. If you don't mind me asking, was this just like a DI box, or were you using an amp, or how did you kind of achieve that tone?
Yeah, well, my guy who mixed it, Eric Rachel, had some really great ideas for the bass sound. You know, the idea was, to even back it up a little more, is, you know, I hear so many metal albums where you can't even hear the bass. You know, it's treated more like a frequency rather than an actual instrument, unfortunately, on many albums. So, you know, since I'm the bass player, you know, on my albums, I wanted the bass to be very prominent, you know, kind of like an Iron Maiden record, you know. The way I recorded it was, I recorded it basically just DI, and I started with that. And I also had a second track, which was a little more of a dirtier sound. So, but when it got to the mixing process, my engineer decided that he had some sort of an Ampeg plug-in, like a dirty Ampeg plug-in. He did that, but what he also did, which I thought made a big difference, is he put like a so now it's like you couldn't hear it, but it made it sound so big and fat because it had that sub bass on there, and then it had also that dirty, trebly kind of sound, and it really made it sound really, really cool and really, really prominent. So, you know, I'm really, really happy with the bass sound, but yeah, I love it, and hopefully everybody else will when they finally hear the bass.
Well, it was actually, like, that was one of the first things that stuck out to me when I turned on the song. I was like, and the bass, it reminded me of, like, a better version of Steve Harris's tone, you know? And I was like, because it wasn't clacking all over the place, but it was up in your face and you could hear every note, and I just thought that was something that, like you say, a lot of metal records, the bass is treated as a frequency as opposed to an instrument. And it was like, it stuck out to me right away. Yeah. I'm so glad that you were able to notice that. I'm so glad that I achieved it, you know. You know, it's weird. You go back, and if you listen to, you know, hard rock and heavy metal from, you know, maybe like the late 70s, early 80s, the bass is so much more prominent. But then somewhere along the line, I just started to get mixed lower and lower. And I just think that when bands started tuning down a lot, it made it hard to get that bass up front, you know, like when if you're tuned to like C or whatever, the lowest frequency is like, what, 20-some hertz. How do you get that out of a speaker in any way?
It's true, you know, it's true. I mean, when you're tuning a guitar to like B or something, it's like, where do you put the bass, you know? So it's, you know,
I probably spoke, and you're probably going to tell me, well, we tuned to C.
I know. Yeah, you know, and a lot of, you know, these days, even a lot of, like, you listen to a lot of, like, the European power metal bands, and, you know, you hear guitar and you hear keyboard up, you know, right in your face, but the bass seems to just get lost, you know, when, you know, the bass drum is drowning it out, and it's just weird, but, you know, I made sure that was not going to happen on this album.
Yeah, so Mike, you kind of touched on it a little bit. You've been at this this is a two-part question. You've been at this for a really long time. First, did you ever imagine you'd still be doing it? And second of all, what is it like having to sort of, I don't want to say reinvent, but start a newer project after being almost like defined by Symphony X for so long?
Oh, excellent question. Yeah, you know, if somebody said to me, like, at some point in the 1990s, you know, hey, you know, you're going to be known as a really popular bass player in the heavy metal world, and your band is going to be, you know, a really well-known band, I would have probably thought you were nuts, you know. when I was, I was a struggling musician in the 80s and the 90s, and, but there was a point where I thought I was going to make it when I was younger, but then as I started to get in my late 20s, early 30s, I started to doubt it, and I just did it because I loved doing it. But and then boom, one day I was just in the right place at the right time. I was 33, and some guy just happened to know Symphony X, who I would hang out with at a local rock club, and then boom, it just happened out of the blue, and so it was like an amazing thing for me, but I'm still blown away that I get to tour the world and do all this fun stuff.
Right.
Now the second part of the question, I think one of the biggest reasons I decided to do a solo project is because I really got pigeonholed and defined as a progressive metal bass player. And you know what? I really was never that. When I learned how to play bass listening to hard rock and heavy metal, and my style was really just like kind of bluesy, 70s walking bass, and mixed with like Steve Harris kind of stuff, and the only progressive band that I ever listened to was Rush, because I really liked Geddy Lee. So I was just like a normal metal bass player. And when I joined Symphony X, I really had to adapt to that kind of style of playing. And I enjoyed it a lot. I loved it, and it made me a better player on a technical sense. But I was, kind of defined as that, and I felt like nobody really knew my roots and where it came from. So one of the reasons I wanted to do this project is to show people the kind of music that I grew up on and that I was influenced by as a bass player.
Gotcha. Hey, so let me ask you another question, sort of not Symphony X related, but you grew up in Jersey, is that correct?
Yes, I did.
So were you a Lemoore? Did you go to Lemoore a lot?
Oh yeah, I loved Lemoore. I would, in those days I was working at like this warehouse, and I would make maybe $40 a week, and I would just spend it all at Lemoore,
Because I grew up on Long Island, and we used to sneak in as kids, when the drinking age was like 19, we had fake IDs and drive over there, and that sort of defined who I was, that Lemoore place.
Yeah, that was a place I'll never forget. I loved it there so much.
There's I don't know if you pay much attention, but there's actually a Lemoore face group going around run by, what was his name, Kane, the DJ?
Yes, and actually, I'm on that page too, and I always check it, and it's always great to see,
yes,
these old tickets or these old videos. It just brings back so many great memories.
I ordered one of those Lemoore hoodies, and I wear it out every once in a while, and every once in a while I'll be somewhere and somebody will be like, holy shit, I know that place.
Yeah, that's, God, you saw so many bands there. It was incredible, and it was just, I don't think there'll ever be another place like that again.
No, that was pretty amazing. I was thinking, I'm way off topic, so I'm sorry, but I was just thinking the other day, I remember seeing Peter Steele in Carnivore there.
Yes. Being from the New York, New Jersey area, Carnivore, they got really popular. And I saw them a few times, and, it was crazy. It was like kind of like Venom and Battle War. It was just sick.
Yes, it was great. Sorry, I got totally off topic, but whenever I hear a New York, New Jersey accent, and you grew up there, I know you had to have gone to Lemoore for sure.
Me being a Canadian living in DC, I was like, I have no idea what you guys are talking about.
It was like, Chris, real quick, it was just like an old warehouse turned into a club, right? I guess it's the best way to explain it.
Yeah.
In a really seedy part of Brooklyn. It was a pretty shitty area, and they got the best acts. I saw Metallica and Wasp. I've seen everybody. Venom.
Yeah, nice. Literally everybody played there, and
I think I saw Maiden there.
Maiden actually did play there.
I think I saw Maiden there.
Yeah, they did play there once, I think, under a different name.
Yeah, so it was just like the place to be. And then eventually they spread out and did like Lemoore East and Lemoore Far East, and then the whole thing went down in like the late or mid 90s. But in the late 80s, early 90s, that was like the place to see everybody.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. You'd see all these rock stars with their Lemoore shirts, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's the equivalent of it's like the East Coast Rainbow, right? Or the Troubadour?
Yeah, oh, no doubt, no doubt.
All right, sorry. I know we just got totally off track, but...
Hey, I'm learning, so we're all good here.
During this whole quarantine sort of lockdown thing, are you doing anything to engage with the fans out of the ordinary, since you can't get out and do in-stores or any kind of shows?
The only thing I've been doing is, in preparation for this album coming out, the record company has been asking me to make a lot of videos, and for the YouTube channel.
Mm-hmm.
So, that's something I never really did before, but I've been doing it now. I mean, that's really the only kind of different thing I've been doing as far as fan stuff. But other than that, I've just been kind of laying low.
Gotcha. Chris?
Yeah, it's such a strange time in history. I mean, we're all living it, and it seems, sometimes you wake up and you forget that it's happening, and then you're like, oh, this is going on.
Yeah, you drive along, like, the highway where there's, where, like, all the stores are, and then there's, like, no one in the parking lot, and it's like, what is this, a movie?
I say that all the time. I think we're living in a movie. It feels like one of those Revolution or some sort of series or something where there's absolutely nobody out except me.
Yeah, man, zombie apocalypse.
Right.
Living in DC, it's crazy. Like you couldn't drive on the road here between like 6 and 9 a.m. ever. Like it's just gridlock. Now you go out and like you have like 5-lane highways on both sides, and there's like 2 cars on it. It is the most surreal thing to see. It's just unbelievable.
Yeah, I believe it. Yeah, I can believe that.
All right, so Mike, getting back to the record here, is there a message or a takeaway you want your fans to walk away with after listening to a Silent Assassin's record?
Yes. Basically, I feel that I've always felt that heavy metal kind of changed a little bit, and a lot of it is not the way I remember it. And what I'm trying to do is restore the heavy metal that I remember. I want my fans to react the same way that I did when I first opened up the Kill 'Em All album, or when I first heard the Killers album. That feeling you get where you want to bang your head and you're like, wow, this is something so cool.
Right.
And I feel that that feeling has kind of gotten lost, and metal has gotten kind of watered down, and the keyboards are a little bit too loud these days. They're overpowering the guitar, and I just want to kind of get across the feeling that I had when I first listened to heavy metal. Where heavy metal is that guitar riff, just bringing everything back to where I kind of believe that it should be.
Okay.
It's funny that you say that, because before we called you, Bruce was like, oh my God, the song is so good. And I was like, I know, it reminds me of like thrash meets the new wave of British heavy metal. And Bruce is like, yes!
The stuff I grew up on.
Yeah, and that's what you just said. I want people to know this. And I was just like, well, it's mission accomplished.
Oh, thank you very much. Yeah, heavy metal is for me always was, you hear that guitar riff and it gives you this adrenaline rush and you start banging your head and it's raw, it's in your face and it's real, and so that's just what I've tried to do, and I'm just basically trying to let fans hear where I came from and my influences.
Yeah, no, they come through loud and clear because I think we probably ran in the same circles. We grew up right around the same time, and that's the first thing I picked up on. So.
Right. Yeah. Exactly. So, and it's weird because there's a lot of like younger metal fans that they don't even know who Ronnie James Dio is.
Right.
And so maybe they'll listen to this album or something, and it'll spark some sort of interest in maybe the beginnings of heavy metal, and they'll go back and they'll find some of these amazing artists.
Yeah, I 100% agree.
So, where can fans pre-order the record?
You can go to Mike Lepond's SilentAssassins.com, and that will give you all the pre-order information. It's all right there, real simple. Mike Lepond, SilentAssassins.com. And again, the record comes out June 26th, and I hope all you guys will check it out and give it a fan listen.